Hello. So we're going to be doing maths. We're taking it a little bit further. We are indeed. So, if you haven't seen our other videos, it's worth a mention. Now it's the first video of the series.
We do videos for our subjects, but in this series we're going to go through the entire course and might do some past papers at the end. And at any point, if you have any questions, you can ask in the comments below or find us on Facebook.
Yep, so I thought we'd mention that before we actually crack on with maths, but now we've mentioned that.
Now, crack on with maths.
Crack on with maths.
So it starts with matrices.
But matrices in the book is quite a big chapter.
It's huge. So we're going to split it up into little bits.
So this video is really just an introduction to what is a matrice and some of the rules.
Yeah.
So
let's do that. So, first frame, what does a matrice look like?
Well, it's an arrangement of numbers in a square or rectangle.
Okay.
So, this is a bad pen.
This is a bad pen.
1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's a matrice, so it's a square arrangement of numbers.
And the numbers can mean things. They could mean coordinates, they could mean something else. But for now, we just think of them as a two-way table.
Yeah. So if we give a nice example.
Alright.
Me and you, we do lunch and tea
and breakfast. Obviously, we need to get these things from somewhere. We don't just go to Tesco's or Waitrose. No. So we have McDonald's.
Yeah.
So an M.
Favourite chicken, we sometimes do.
Okay.
And then there's further maths lessons we have to attend as well.
Yeah.
So FM. And then what we're talking about is me, Wayne.
That's Wayne. That's a live portrait, quite a small one, as you can't really tell what it is. And that one's me.
Triv.
Hello. So these are our places. Now,
we go to them different amounts of times, and eventually they can be expressed as a matrice.
The first
That's why we're doing it.
How many times you go there? So, Wayne, how many times do you go to McDonald's a day?
Twice. I go there for the McDonald's breakfast, which is great,
yeah.
and tea to have an actual McDonald's.
Okay, so we have twice there for Wayne.
So we represent that with a line with a 2, so it matter.
Okay.
Triv, how many times do you go to McDonald's?
Well, as you pointed out, Wayne, it's obvious. You have to go for breakfast and tea, so that's twice as well for me.
Alright, so then we've got favourite chicken.
So how many times have you been to favourite chicken, Wayne?
Well, I only go there for the meal deal, middle of the day.
Oh, yeah, middle of the day, yep. Only once. That's very sensible, economic, Wayne. Well done.
What about you?
Of course, I can't really Wayne, so I only go once as well. I wouldn't go with that, because that'd be really mean.
Yeah.
I've got a question, Wayne. How many times do you go to further maths?
Never.
No?
I don't take further maths. What about you?
I don't take it either. Why are we doing this?
Oh, because Jason said, "Hey guys, here's some books on further maths. Would you like to teach it?"
He did do that. Alright, that's fine then. Alright, now I've got that sorted.
So we never go to further maths lessons.
We could have lines of zeros, but it'd be silly, isn't it? Movement. So we don't go there. So if we express this as a table,
Yeah.
you can think of it as a two-way table where we are the rows.
Yep. So we've got Wayne and James being the 2 rows, and then the possible Wayne and Triv in this case, and the possible things we can go to being across the top, the columns.
Yes. Yeah. Again, should we have we don't have to, but actually you wouldn't write these things on, but these are just essentially what are there.
So you've got McDonald's, favourite chicken, and further maths lessons.
Then you just denote them with the amount of times we went. So we have.
So Wayne to McDonald's is 2, Triv to McDonald's is 2, the next ones are both 1s, and the next ones are both 0s. Then to be a proper matrix, as Triv said, you'd rub these off.
Yeah, you wouldn't actually have these on there.
That's just how you can think about it.
So now we've got these things, Wayne.
Yeah.
We've got a few more things to put into the equation.
We may do.
So, it's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday, yeah.
It's a Tuesday, yeah. So, favourite chicken. Favourite chicken's closed.
Okay.
So we have to go somewhere else.
But that's not included in this.
It's
so
not
how would
included
we
in this.
express that?
So, you'd have to take away a favourite chicken from each of us.
So at the second we have this matrix 2, 2, 1, 1, 0, 0, as
We
we've
do.
done. And yeah, we're going to have to take away a favourite chicken. So McDonald's is going to stay the same.
Yeah, I was going to say the same.
But there's going to be a 1 here, because it's a takeaway, so it's not a -1.
Yeah.
So it's going to be minus. So we don't go to favourite chicken on this particular day. We
Of
have
course.
to take them away from both of us in the favourite chicken column.
Yeah.
And further math isn't going to change. And so this is how you minus matrices.
And when you minus them, you just minus each bit from each bit. So 2 minus 0 is still 2.
Yep. So these things stay the same. They'd go down to 0, and the others would stay at 0 as well.
But then there's a problem with that, Wayne. There's a problem because what are we going to have for lunch?
Oh, we'll think about that later.
Okay.
Think about that later. We should mention that the only way you can minus these is that they're the same order.
Ah, yes. And the order is how big a matrix is. You name a matrix's size by its dimensions. You start with rows,
Yep.
and then you go into columns. So this would be
2 rows.
Yeah. And this would be a 2 by 3 matrix.
Because they're both 2 by 3, you can minus, and plussing would be exactly the same.
It would be exactly the same.
But
So
Triv,
yeah.
Another rule that we can
Right.
think about
Okay.
is we've got this matrice. We'll just pretend it isn't a Tuesday today. We went to the favourite chicken.
Okay.
Like a normal day.
Like a normal day, every day.
Normal every day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just pretend for a second favourite chicken is open on a Tuesday.
Okay.
Just ignore that it's closed entirely.
All right. Yeah.
This is for one day, but we go there 5 days a week.
We do
So
go there 5 days
It's
a week.
essentially multiplying it by 5. But how does that work?
Well, it works in a similar way. Where actually a little bit in the corner, it's quite small,
Indeed.
so a bit bigger here. It just times each value by the value outside by the matrix. So R2 gets times by a 5.
Yep. So it becomes 10, and that will be a 10 as well. These will both become 5, and then
Then-
0 times by 5 is
Yeah.
still 0. So that's
So
how
this
you
becomes
times it.
Our weekly matrix.
And that's matrices in a nutshell, really.
That is matrices in a nutshell. So, yeah.
We've got a big example now to do. It's just a worked
Oh, yeah.
example.
They in the exam they ask you huge questions of a really big matrix and do lots of things to it. So that's what we're going to do now. But I'm not AQA. Are you AQA, Wayne?
I'm not AQA.
So we're not exam board, so it won't actually be a question from an exam. It'll be pretty damn similar.
Yeah, it's going to have the same sort of layout as your AQA or whatever exam board, but we're going to mix it up a bit.
I'll mix that bit. So just give you information, and you have to turn that information into a matrix. So what information are we going to go for, Wayne?
Well, the sort they'll give you an AQA is a football match and the scores and stuff. That's a bit boring, so let's
Yeah,
change it slightly.
okay.
There's an annual throw the turtle in the box competition.
It's really big here in a... say touchscreen. Alright, really big here. And what you have to do is you throw the turtle in the box from 1 metre away into the box. That's the rules.
Okay, so what there is going to be teams entered for it. So first they might give you a two-way table. They'd give you a similar thing in a football game, but football's boring. So
they might say that there are lots of teams. They'll say the Clever Egg team, that's us.
there's a Clever Cracker team.
There might be a Felix Academy team.
Felixstowe Academy.
There's Manchester United.
Manchester
They're not
United.
only big in the football world, also the turtle throwing. And then there's Jill's House, which is just a cat who plays
It's
there.
just a cat. Jill's house. Okay, so then you've got points scored.
Yeah.
Points scored. Points against. So,
So
you
points
go up
conceded,
against
I guess,
people.
yeah.
Yeah. Points against. It's a shorter word.
Yeah.
Then you've got win, lose, and draw. The overall.
And this is, as you can see, quite a big table already. So it will be quite a big matrix. So, say there's 4 matches played or more.
Yeah, we could say a couple of matches. I just don't know.
Alright, don't say a number. Right, there's a certain number of players. In the first one, for example, we are against Jill's House.
Yeah. So we have Clever Cracker against Jill's house.
Now, as we're the world-renowned champions of turtle throwing,
We win.
we win that one.
And over the few weeks, there's going to be quite a few matches. So let's say overall, we've so far won 4 matches.
Okay.
Overall. We've lost 0 and we've drawn 0 because we're just that good.
Yeah, world-renowned.
Okay, so how many points did we score in the total of the 4 games?
Well, if we think about it, like football, let's say 12.
Okay. Chances are people have scored against us, so let's just say that that's 3. Someone scored 3 points against us.
Okay.
Felixstowe Academy, they lost 3 of their games.
And they drew 1.
They drew 1. They didn't win any. So there's 4 games going on per people.
Okay. Then we've got Manchester United. 'Cause this is a small part of the table. It's huge world competition.
Yeah, world competition. Manchester United.
They're pretty good. So they won, say, 3.
Yeah. They lost 1 and they drew none. So they either win or they lose. They're not quite as good as Clever Cracker.
No. So
And
that-
Jill's house, they didn't win any. They lost all 4. They didn't draw.
Yeah, because it's just a cat. It's not very good at throwing turtles. Then this will change our other columns. So we have points against for this academy. Let's say quite a lot.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. Let's say they themselves actually only scored 2, maybe.
All right. Manchester United 1-3 lost 8.
Yeah, let's go with that. 8-2.
Doesn't really matter too much what
Making
actual
up
values
numbers.
are.
They didn't score any. They had 12 against them. altogether. Let's
Okay.
just say.
Yeah, let's just go with that. And then it will say, rotate as matrix output, we're fine, just write down the things as they are here, more or less.
Yep, so we're going to have 4 columns down, 4 rows down, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns across. And
So
it's just
very
going to look
matrix-y.
much like the table, isn't it?
It is identical, in fact. So then they're going to ask you questions about what will happen later in the league, or maybe say that's just 1 week and there's lots and it happens the same time every time. So they might say that there's a rematch between Manchester United and Felixstowe Academy.
Okay. So Manchester United and Felixstowe Academy. If we actually write this as a table, Manchester United is going to affect the second row down,
Yeah.
and Felixstowe Academy, sorry, other way around. Felixstowe Academy is the second row, Manchester United is the third row. So things are going to change in those 2 rows, and you'd have to add it on because it counts towards the overall point system, so it's a plus. And because Clever Cracker isn't playing any games, they are unaffected. Their points and stuff are going to stay exactly
And
the
that'll
same.
be the same for Jill's house.
Jill's house is going to stay exactly the same. You're not plussing on anything.
Let's say it's a rematch, and Felixstowe Academy against Man United. Felixstowe Academy actually wins.
So that means the third column along, which is winning, which is here in this one, for
Yeah.
Felixstowe Academy,
That's going to go up by 1.
they're going to 1-1. And because they've won, and it's a Felixstowe Academy against Manchester United, Manchester United must have lost. So they're going to go up 1 there in the lose column.
Yeah.
And these are both going to be zeros. And they didn't draw because it was a clear win, clear loss. Then there's going to be points.
So you can then do that.
If we say that Felixstowe Academy altogether scored 4 points and Manchester United only scored 2, that gives
Yeah.
a clear win. That
Yeah,
means-
this will be the same in reverse.
Yeah. And then that's adding it, and that's the sort of question they get. So it's really long-winded. In the actual exam, you won't have to write the table most likely. You'll just have to do the matricing.
And then that'll give you a result which you could write, but it'll be...
You know, how to
Each
plus
one.
is just plussing the original thing. So these top and bottom rows are going to stay the same, and it's just plussing.
Yeah, it does feel like we haven't covered very much in this video, but matrix is a big chapter. It's just a building block.
Next, we're on to transformations. So that's another way matrices can be used, and we'll get onto that right away.
We will, let's do that.